I'll hit record it so I don't forget. Hi, everyone. Thanks for jumping on. And we have Sarah's coming on, and we have Alison's new team member joining us.
Hey, Nicole.
What was
Jane?
Can you say that again, Alison?
Sorry?
I'm so sorry. I've forgotten your new colleague's name.
Nicole.
Nicole. Sorry, Nicole. Great to meet you. We've heard so much great stuff about you. We're really excited you're here.
Oh, likewise. Nice to meet everybody.
Oh, terrific. Great. So welcome, everyone. And welcome, Desley. Great to see you. You look fabulous as always. Have you been speaking today, or this is just how you regularly look?
No, Roger's got a gig and we're heading off in a couple of hours, so I only want to get dressed once.
Yep.
I don't think I've seen Desley look any other way, actually.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for jumping on, everyone, and especially to Paul. Paul, thank you so much for joining us today. We've had so many great, Paul, for those who don't know who Paul is an automations expert and has been helping. He helped me in my practice when I was really struggling. I was coming across from Insightly over into Active Campaign, and Paul saved the day for me and saved a lot of stress while I was trying to move all the nightmare. And Paul's just been so wonderful in helping me and continuing on with the practices. Paul, we've worked together. What was that? Probably 2019?
Yeah, I came on just before COVID. So it was like January. I think you were pinging me just like when the holidays had finished. Right. And it was early January, and you were like looking for an Active Campaign specialist to help you out, and then we got things going, and then the COVID bomb dropped on us. And
that's right. Paul was there for the content creation boot camp we did, where we had 500 people online and 11,000 questions in our Facebook group for over 3 days. It was, I think Paul might have thought, my God, what have I signed up for? Who is this crazy woman?
I remember it was a Saturday too, and there was a tech issue between WooCommerce and Active Campaign, and it was just a debacle.
But anyway. Paul's been so wonderful, helping not just me, but my team, and helping us to, my goal for everyone's goal is we don't want to become experts in our CRMs, and we've got to stay in our expertise. And Paul really gets that. And since then, Paul's done an amazing job helping people in our community. I know he's helped Desley lately, particularly with implementing GoHighLevel, and Alison.
Yep.
And so we got talking, and Desley sparked the idea, actually. She said, do you reckon we can get Paul on to talk a bit about GoHighLevel, and so we can have a bit of a chinwag about it? So thank you so much for joining us, Paul. Paul's brought along a couple of things. We've got limited time with him. We've got an hour with him, so we can ask what we like. But Paul's going to share. I said, we could probably talk GoHighLevel for an entire week, just to give us a bit of an idea of some of the things we need to be thinking about, regardless of whether, and for the record, I'm not fussed what people get. I don't even mind if you're just running a spreadsheet that's got names and addresses on it for your CRM. I'm not saying go out and spend a whole lot of money on CRMs or anything like that, but having been through 4 or 5 iterations of CRMs, is over time in your practice, you will need something. And I don't get referral fees for GoHighLevel, or as I say, I'm not worried about what people buy or whatever they want to work with. But whilst we've got Paul, who's an amazing expert at this stuff, but really understands what it's like to run a practice, I thought, and as Desley said, let's get Paul on. So thanks for joining us, Paul.
That's okay. I've put a little slide deck together, just, I mean, like you said, you could talk high level for hours. I mean, there's so many little things it does, big things it does, so many features, and you could really just swimming by the end of it. So what I've done is a slide deck, sort of just going through some, I guess, key sort of areas where it can help your businesses, I guess, from looking at what it does for Jane, or that sort of thing. So sort of knowing, I mean, Alison's using it now, Desley's using it now, sort of from a perspective of, I guess, we'll start with, I guess, what high level is. I mean, basically, it's an all-in-one.
Have you got slides you want to share, Paul?
Oh, sorry, I do. I've got to share my screen, don't I?
Yeah.
That would be very helpful.
Fire away.
I've got
So
it
a little
right.
bit of, can I just share a little bit of context for those who are wondering? There's a lot of different systems out there. So particularly say for the purpose of the recording, and so there's lots of different systems. Active Campaign, we're about to move to GoHighLevel from Active Campaign. Kartra, all sorts of different systems. So you know, you don't have to use this one, of course, but it's more about at some point having some way to be able to store your customer information and also to be able to read your metrics, so newsletters and sales and all those sorts of things. But I'll let you go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, big bit of background. Jane's already sort of mentioned a bit about me and stuff like that. I mean, for years I've been an Active Campaign, you know, specialist. I mean, that's how Jane met me. I think I've been using it since about 2013. And then nearly a couple of years ago, I got introduced to HighLevel. I didn't know what I was using. It was under a different sort of guise, but it turned out to be HighLevel. And the more I started using it, the more I started to think, well, this is great. I mean, I've seen a lot of platforms over the years that, you know, say they're going to be all in one and do all this sort of stuff, and then, you know, don't really, you know, live up to those expectations. So it would take a lot for me to move from AC, because I've always regarded it as, you know, my number one weapon of choice. And then I guess the more I learned with HighLevel and the more I started to use it, learned about how they work as a model themselves, about how there's the reseller option. And we'll talk a bit about that as I get towards the end of this and how it all works and stuff like that. I was sold. I was like, this is what I've been looking for. This is something that allows me to offer this platform to people at a really good price that helps people small businesses remain competitive, and compete with big companies, I guess, who have got the HubSpots and, you know, have got lots of money at their disposal. This platform, you know, I'm able to offer it at a really great price, which we'll get to later. And it's fantastic. And the beauty part is it just continues to get better. Like, they're just adding more and more functionality to it. From what it was a year ago to what it is now, it's changed a lot in terms of the features. So, I mean, originally they started out as a marketing agency, and how they came about was they were very much wanting all of the tools they're using to be kind of in one spot and not over here and here and here, like anyone that's working in an agency like myself, you know, can, you know, certainly understand that you've got so many things. So they decided they wanted to have a platform. They started to build it themselves, which could have all these things in one spot, and then the more they started using it for their own clients, and the more their clients were agencies as well, started to go, well, hang on, this is what we want, and our clients want this too. So from that became this giant, this really fast growing. It's been around since 2017, and it's really, you know, rocketing up the charts in terms of popularity and users and what they're doing and stuff like that. It's become really, really big. They're based in Dallas. I think they're based in Dallas, but I think the three founders, I don't even think they live in Dallas. I think they live in Oregon and other spots and stuff like that. And it's all cloud-based. So it works on Google's cloud platform and AWS. So probably the two biggest cloud providers in the world. It just runs off of that. So all your info is up in the cloud. There's a whole bunch of security stuff too that I can send anyone that wants to know all that. Like, you know, James Anderson, who wanted to know all those bits and bobs. There's a whole big, you know, thing on where they store, how it's all stored, how it's all backed up, and all that sort of thing. So if anyone's really wanting to know all those bits of information, I can find it for you. So just to give you an idea, like this here, this top graphic here, I used that in a presentation about this time last year. I got it from their website. It was just to sort of demonstrate, you know, how big a company they were. This one here, this bottom one, I literally got off their website yesterday. So you can see, I'm not really sure what the leads thing is here. I think someone's forgot to update that. But you can see how much they've grown from, you know, these to here from 15,000 to 60,000 agencies. And this is just in the space of a year, how fast they are growing in terms of popularity, and a lot of people jumping ship off other platforms. I think the other platforms are feeling the pinch a little bit as well. And then I guess, look, this is going through the main features. And again, there's so many things to go through that it does. Like, we could be here for hours going through them all and stuff like that. But I guess, from the automation to the email marketing, the CRM, it integrates with, a lot of your social media platforms. It has a membership platform built in, very similar to Kajabi, which Jane has been experiencing lately when she's been bringing some of her stuff over, how similar to Kajabi it actually is. And then there's new features such as all the AI they've built in as well. So you can use content AI, conversation AI, workflow AI. I'm still a bit on the fence with the AI thing. I know it's coming and everyone's jumping on board and stuff like that. It's there to be used if you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. Calendars, so it has like inbuilt calendars as well. So instead of using Calendly, you can use the calendars here, and it all syncs with your Google and Outlook calendars and all that kind of stuff. And people can book appointments, and you can even set up like webinars. You can actually have calendars set up for multiple seats, so you can have like webinars, online stuff, where you can just have them all booked through this one calendar, and then it sends them the Zoom link and all that sort of stuff if you're using Zoom, and sends them the reminders and that kind of thing. Proposals and estimates is a new thing that's come, where you can actually just send quotes and estimates and proposals and that kind of thing. Sending invoices and processing orders and stuff like that. It has, if anyone's familiar with ClickFunnels, it has a funnel builder very similar to ClickFunnels. Like it's almost identical when you see it. So that thing, if you're familiar with, where you can have checkout pages and you can add, things that you might be selling on there and stuff like that. And as of a couple of weeks ago, it now has e-commerce, where you can actually load up products and create like a shop front where you can have products in it, and you can have variants, and you can basically sell products through it as an e-com, where it goes through a checkout and people pay, and you can basically send them tracking information and all that sort of stuff. So it's really...
Sorry to interrupt, Paul. So
right.
Like for the ladies here, for some of the things they might be doing, say like for e-commerce, that can what we find that useful for is events. So if you're running, so books is useful. So if they've got books that they want to sell, obviously, but sometimes it can, if it's the e-commerce kind of like our Shopify works, you can keep track of, has that been, if that order's been, addressed, has it been added to whatever, yeah?
Yeah, and in the payments function, like if you go to the payment section, you can see like all your invoices that you've sent out, all your transactions, all of your orders, and you can just go back through and see all that information in that one spot. And they're working on having sort of the attribution and having like within someone's contact record, where it will then sort of add sort of any sales that things they've purchased. It will start to add like how much money they've spent with you and stuff like that as well. That's currently in the works and that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's just offers so many things, and I've probably forgotten things out here as well. Forms and surveys. I mean, it connects up with Stripe and PayPal. Square's coming very soon as well. So, because not everyone likes Stripe, so NMI is already there, and there's another Visa one that's available, but Square is coming very, very soon.
Just check, Paul. Some of the ladies use SurveyMonkey, and
yep.
Or like if they're going to deliver an event, they might say, look, I'd love to survey the audience. I want to ask them 3 questions, what's your biggest challenge or something like that. From what I understand, there's with this forms and surveys is probably one that's quite useful, because that can save quite a bit of money. Like SurveyMonkey, I think is $300 odd, $360 or something a year. Then you've got Calendly, which is $250 or something a year. And then if you compare and you talk about pricing later, but so what you're saying is based on all these things, it's got the functionality of all those things, but it's also got because it's got the inclusions, you don't necessarily have to have some of those other platforms like the Kajabis and because at the moment we've got ActiveCampaign, we've got Kajabi, we've got Calendly, we've got, all those separate things. So it's all in under one.
I mean, and those things get expensive. I mean, they add up. AC is not getting any cheaper, and obviously, look, and probably moving on to the next screen here. I did this a while back because obviously people went, oh, a lot of my clients were using ActiveCampaign, and when I sort of showed them this platform, they're like, well, what does it do that ActiveCampaign doesn't do? So I put this little slide together and said, well, basically, from my perspective, from a knowing AC so well and knowing this platform, I put together this slide deck, this page here, which sort of outlined what it does do that ActiveCampaign doesn't do. And the highlighted stuff is just sort of, I guess, the real big ones for me. I mean, they're all, huge things that it can do that AC can't do, but more so there's some things here. Obviously, the unlimited contacts and users, like one of the things I guess it's huge, and it really annoys me that AC charges you when you get to a tier, so you grow your list. And I've had people that were paying, one of your clients that was paying $600 plus a month.
That's right.
Because they had over 10,000 users.
That's right.
And doesn't really use all the functionality. Does still to this day doesn't even really use the deals pipeline and stuff like that. So they moved over, and it's obviously saving a lot of money by doing that. And even I think the legacy people who got in really cheap on AC all got bumped up in price.
I was
you were one of them too, and you were lucky because you were in that legacy price bracket, and you were lucky because you sat there for a while not having to worry about that. Then they just started going, everyone, you're all paying more money now. And the thing about that is they never really gave you anything for it. Like, new features are seldom come along. They just released something else the other day. And I'm like, well, that's been around for 2 years. Like, what are you doing? So this, I guess, is the key things that it obviously offers that AC doesn't do. And unlimited contacts and users is a big one. More control over your sending and your deliverability. Like, AC will never tell you how much gets delivered. It only tells you how much it ever gets sent. And it only lets you use unless you go on to the highest enterprise plan, which, costs an absolute bomb. You can't control what sending domain you want to use. You have to use their gobbledygook ones, which I guess when they're sending so many emails out, the likes of Gmail and Outlook and stuff like that starts to go, well, I'm seeing this server a lot sending these emails out, and it starts to, like all yours, Jane, all your emails that I get, because I'm on your newsletter list, goes into promotions.
Yeah.
Every single one goes into promotions. I'm seeing across the board, since everyone's been able to use their own sending domains and stuff like that, that far more gets into the inboxes.
Yeah.
I'm seeing across the board better open rates because I think there's more vision around deliverability and what's actually going on. And I think because you can use custom domains, as I said, it's not getting flagged as spam as much as it once was. So,
that's a good one, Paul, because
huge.
I think, the first person that moved over, that was, when you've got 10,000 people that person had on their database, that was the biggest, that was worth the move alone just to get the deliverability higher, because we're working off a 40% open rate. And at the moment, like for some, it's like, and that's still quite high, but, we're thought leaders, so that open rate does, need to be high. That's what, causes things like we have to do resends to unopens to get noticed through those promotion files, through those promotions folders.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, so that was the other thing I was going to just mention is the change in the deliverability rates that we've seen for the people that you've worked with.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you can see what's being delivered.
Mm,
And also to open rates. And the thing that often would happen with Active Campaign, for instance, is you'd have someone that you'd go, well, I didn't get that email. And you'd look in their activity log and you'd
that's
say,
right.
well, I know it's telling me it's been sent. And they would swear black and blue, well, I haven't got it.
That's right.
Because it tells you it's sent. It doesn't tell you if it was delivered or not. I mean, nothing will ever tell you if it got delivered into spam or whatever. It's just not possible to do that. But at least if you know it's landed somewhere, that it's actually landed somewhere, and it's in some box somewhere that you have some vision over and stuff like that. Obviously, the calendars. I mean, that's a huge thing. I mean, that's the fact that you can use the calendars to book appointments and webinars and all manner of different things. And those appointments are all logged in the system. Like you can go to your appointments section and see all your appointments, the statuses of them all. And obviously from that, it triggers workflows such as appointment reminders and that kind of thing. Something new that just came only a couple of weeks ago, they've sort of been chipping away at it, is conditional logic. And that might not sound like a big deal, but AC's forms are still the same old forms they were 9-10 years ago, and they haven't changed a whole lot. Conditional logic allows you to apply logic to certain things, and I'll give you a use case from someone who's using it. She's doing a survey, doing a quiz, and she said to me, the last question I need, when it's answered, because it's a radio button basically field, so you can only pick one thing. She said, what I need this to do is I need, depending on what they select in my final question, I need it to redirect to a certain, everyone's hooked up to a different calendar. Every answer has a different calendar. So she was like, I need it to go to either this one, depending on what you answer. So using the conditional logic available in the forms now, I was able to say, if this answer equals this, on submission, send it to here. If it answers this, send it here. So basically, when you submit it, the form, you capture all the details, and then what it will do is it will redirect to your calendar of choice. So she can happily do that. Same as within a form, that if you might want to, if you select something in a form, it then opens up more questions, because obviously you don't want to have a form where there's like 60 questions and it looks like a mortgage application. Whereas, you want it to be fairly compact, and depending on what they select, can open up another line of questioning and stuff like that. So that's something that only things like Gravity Forms within WordPress and stuff like that was ever able to do. I've never seen it available in anything else, and they've added it to here now, where you can say, well, if this happens, do this, and add that sort of that layer of logic around to your forms, which I guess really helps you unpack more data on people. If they're slowly answering a question and they answered yes, well, now I'm going to ask them this question and stuff like that.
So Paul, can I just stop for 1 sec? I just want to make sure people have got an opportunity to ask a question.
Yep.
Open up the floor, and people want to pop in a question in the chat, or if anyone's got a specific question. One thing that probably here that we noticed that Active Campaign didn't have that, GoHighLevel had that Active Campaign didn't, was the reporting, because we wanted to see, and I think this is something that you've done, a more customized report for our community, which is the scoring, because we want something we're probably more interested in is the open rates of the newsletters, and not just each month or each week, but overall, who are the people who are the most engaged in our newsletters. So do you from memory, and I think the people that have been starting to work with you, that's something that you've put in to their practices, or put into their GoHighLevel, that's a sort of customized report you've put in, is that right?
Yeah, and actually speaking of that, that's actually now available. There's actually now a lead scoring within the platform where you can go in and add whatever points you want to add around whatever conditions you might say. Opens get this, clicks get that. if someone books an appointment, I'm going to score them this. Different sort of functionality you can add sort of scoring. So for those who do have the platform, if you go into your settings, go to manage scoring and go nuts.
Oh,
You can
okay.
just go
So
in and just
Alison's got that question there. She said, yeah, I'm keen to see how the reporting works at what it can and can't do. So that's something maybe for down the track to have a look
Yep.
at. Paul.
Yep, certainly. What I was doing was I was sort of setting it up where, and I still run these automations where if I like to capture the last open date, because one of the easiest things to do is if you're wanting to, and I mean, everyone likes to build their lists. No one likes to clean their lists because it's like, well, I've got to get rid of people. Well, yeah, you do. People aren't opening, they're doing more harm to you than not opening and not unsubscribing, because it just hurts your deliverability. So at some point in time, you have to move these people on. So, using sort of like a last open date, you can sort of, go to your contacts and say, last open date is before a certain date, and you can see how many people will match those parameters, and that helps your list cleaning and stuff like that. And now that your point scoring's there, you can actually just go in and apply point scoring willy-nilly as you like now, and just say, well, I want to give 5 points to someone who's going to click my emails or do this and whatever. So it's yeah,
So
it's now
check in then for particularly for Alison and Desley, who are using it already now. Have you got any comments or thoughts based on what you've been using previously, or anything you've sort of noticed, or are you still finding your feet a little bit with GoHighLevel?
I don't even know where my feet are.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
One of my questions was going to be, I mean, I can learn how to do this, but I am deliberately not going to learn how to do it because I've got to do other stuff. That's been the issue I've been facing for 20 years. Yeah. I learn a whole heap of stuff. So, what support is available in this? How do I find someone who, I mean, I'm getting support at the moment. Thank you, Gemma. How can I get support from someone who really has their head around this? That might be you, Paul, who can just say, Desley, I need this. Desley, I need that. So I'm not getting my head into it, just like I can't afford to get my head into Asana too deeply.
That's right.
Yep, it's actually got, what I've added to the platform fairly recently is, if you look down the sidebar near the bottom, you'll see this thing called a help center. So within that help center, because a lot of people are saying, if you had to go looking for guides or whatever, you'd have to go to GoHighLevel's website, and it's not the most intuitive to find everything you're looking for. So the help centers I've put in there myself. It's got a very intuitive. You can just click on videos. You can go and there's guides. There's like hundreds of guides in there, so you can find what you're looking for and go, how do I do that? And you can go. It's structured.
Sorry, I think Desley means more a human being. Like if she needs, because Desley doesn't really, for most of the experts, and the same for all of us, is that we don't really want to be in here. Is this something that we could, is it something like if we need someone to do newsletters for us, or to be able to, manage for us? Because these ladies have to think, sell and deliver, and not necessarily in here as such. Is it easy to support, and where would you go to get that, as opposed to having to learn it?
I mean, obviously you can come to me and I can help you with things like that. I mean, I guess it comes down to your business, and if you've got VAs and stuff like that. Like some of the users of the platform who are Jane's clients have VAs, and their VAs are the ones that are using it, and they're the ones that come to me with any questions. And most of the things they ever ask, it might just be something they're stuck on. Like it might be a quick question to say, oh, how do I get that to work? Or that's not showing, how do I get that to work? And it's a very quick answer. So me is obviously the first port of call. I guess with things like building newsletters and stuff like that, I mean, what would be the best way there? Is it better to get, a VA to help you build those newsletters? I know that Jane's helping you build them at the moment.
I've, with the help of Jan and Gemma, I think I can build the newsletters now. But, just like for the first time ever, write this in the last minute, I've actually worked out that I can click on emails campaign, and I've actually seen for the first time what my open rate is. I sent a newsletter yesterday and my open rate is 48%.
Good work.
Oh, that's good. Nice work.
Like, I didn't even know that. I just need someone to, I need someone to tell me what to do. Hashtag tell me what to do. You know, obviously, as the expert, I can write the newsletter, but Gemma's been fabulous in putting it up there and showing me where to put it and all that sort of stuff, because otherwise I had to learn how to do that. I have got so much I have to do that I'm deliberately trying not to learn that, but hashtag tell me what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I mean, the other thing is too, is you've got the opportunity to book a call with me once a month. Like, I have check-in calls where, you know, you can book it in, and it should be down your sidebar. You'll see a book a call function there, and you can just go in and book a call with me, and it's free. That you can come in and pick my brain. You can ask me questions. You might say, hey, how do I set this up? Or what do I do with that if you're not sure? As I said, or you reach out to me. I mean, I can build a template for you and say, hey, here's a template based on what you want. And you can just, whenever you need to use that for a newsletter, for instance. And now that you've got a template, you could go in there and just quickly populate a newsletter and send it.
Can I just make a suggestion, Leslie, for you as well, to save you, you know, having to, because not having the time to, you know, necessarily call Paul, but you're sort of thinking more the support for you in your practice to be able to make sure it goes out. So one would be the VA, but the second thing I think that's valuable would be perhaps maybe for you off the back of the newsletter when it goes out, is that there's a report that is just emailed to you with the link to the report, perhaps, of, hi, Desley, here's the results of the newsletter that went out this week. Here's the link. So it's probably the final step off the back of the task in Asana of the newsletter going out, just an additional task that says, send Desley the results. So you don't have to go find those things. They're actually coming to you with that.
I can go you one better.
Yeah.
I can actually set up reports that can go out whenever you want them to go out, basically.
To Desley.
Any time you can get them weekly, you can get them daily, you can get them monthly. I can set them up with what you want to see. And I think Sue Anderson gets hers, is it weekly on a Friday? I think I send Sue Anderson's out automatically. I didn't even do it. I just set it up and it just sends out.
Is that what you're thinking, Desley?
Yeah, something like that. And I just had a look for the first time ever. My previous newsletter had a 61% open rate. Who knew? I could have been celebrating.
But yeah, is that the kind of thing that you have in mind, Desley, that you'd like?
Yeah, it's no big deal for me now that I know how to do it, but I had to spend the time to learn how to do it. I know I'm being pedantic. I'm just taking care of myself. I am concentrating on my expertise. Yes. I love tech stuff. Paul, you might know this, but I used to run a global IT company. I'm a techie, and I've deliberately been trying not to get into the tech of this because it just distracts me, you know?
Yeah. So, Paul, there's also a comment here from Alison. She's saying, can you please automate sending me weekly reports too, please?
What day do you want them on? You're on mute.
Unmute yourself.
Fridays would be great, Paul.
What time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock your time?
Yes.
Okay, you're in Victoria, aren't you?
Yes.
Yep, done.
Thank you.
And I'll,
Go ahead, Desley.
I was just going to say, what day does your newsletter go out, Alison? Is it a Wednesday or?
Typically, it's a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Yeah. Paul, is it best to get the information, the feedback on the day after the newsletter, or 2 days after, or 3 days after?
I'd wait a couple of days. I think from general, most people will probably open in the first 24 hours. I would wait 2 days.
Yeah. Which for me would be Monday.
Yeah, which just getting those residual people that may come in on the weekend and stuff like that. I mean, you can leave it longer, and it'll incrementally probably get bigger as some people do open, you know, over time. But yeah, I'd say 2 days. I'd leave it 2 days to get those. So if you want yours on a Monday, I can set yours up for a Monday.
Paul, with that report, does it only do the report for the most recent newsletter, or will it do the report for the 2 most recent newsletters? How does that work?
It will pick up that point in. So if it's 7 days between, if you're doing it weekly, it will pick up the 7 days worth of things that have been sent out, basically.
Right. Okay.
So if you want like all together, then you could do fortnightly.
Yeah, that would probably be good. I send my newsletters fortnightly.
Fortnightly is better for you then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Another question here, Paul, from Mandy. Mandy's asking, is my membership site that I'm running at the moment, that everyone's using now, is this on this platform? So no, Mandy, this one's slightly different, and it's because the platform that we use, that is what you're seeing with the app and everything, is a platform called Click, and it's a platform more designed for running a community. Whereas GoHighLevel does have a membership area and a product site. So it's more like Kajabi, that it's got an area where you can put your videos. It's got where it's almost, I would say, Paul, it's probably as good as Kajabi. Like if you've got Kajabi, you probably wouldn't even need it if you were doing this, which is what we're doing. We're taking everything out of Kajabi and putting it in GoHighLevel. So I have a bunch of people who access some resources that we have, and they will access those through GoHighLevel. But for you that is in Women with Influence, you are in Click, and we have far more curated content that you need in there. So I run that because it's more specific and it had more the functionality that I really needed, like the things like the forum that you're seeing in Click and things like that. GoHighLevel hasn't got to that level or is as advanced that I would have liked to, but maybe one day they will. But for now, I couldn't wait on GoHighLevel. I went, no, we need this sort of platform now. But everything else will come off Active Campaign, Kajabi, everything, and we'll move into GoHighLevel. But it does have a membership area and the product area, yes.
Yeah, and it has communities now too, so you can have like groups and stuff like that. So you can have, instead of having like, if you don't want a Facebook group, you can have a group in here where you can have community groups and stuff like that. And you know, if you haven't ran, it's coming up in here anyway. So
yeah,
I guess
they have communities and GoHighLevel. You're right, Mandy, they do. It's just the for the type of how I wanted the content to run, and particularly the forums, it just is probably, it's a basic sort of style of community. I wanted a few more advanced things, which is why I went to Click. But a good place, but could GoHighLevel, good place to start a community for sure.
Okay. All right. So sales and pipeline management, I guess.
Sorry, did we miss a question? I think, was there another question someone had? No, we're all good. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
I think we're all good. Okay. So obviously this is sort of going through some of the key features. So consolidated communications. So the platform, I guess, really sort of prides itself on being like a lead gen platform. So all your comms in terms of emails, SMS, you know, you can hook up Facebook and Instagram and Messenger and all that sort of stuff. Those come into the platform. So you can receive, if you've got Facebook Messenger for your business, that will come through the platform. Or if you get Google Business messages from there, it saves you having to go from here. You might miss messages because if you get Facebook ones and Google ones, and you know, you've got WhatsApp and you've got SMSs and all that sort of stuff, it gets confusing because obviously you've got them all over the place. Whereas here you can consolidate your communications into one contact record where you've got a history of their communication, and you can see the SMSs and the emails and the other comms that you've had with those people. If someone comes via Facebook Messenger, you can reply to them via Facebook Messenger as well if you've got it hooked up. So it sort of allows you to, I guess, not miss leads because you're juggling, you know, all your comms all over the place and stuff like that. One we're really hoping on,
if you've got that going on, and so it allows your business manager to help you to manage that a bit. It doesn't have LinkedIn, obviously.
That's what I
but
was getting to,
Facebook and
yeah.
Messenger.
Yep.
Okay.
LinkedIn is the one that we're obviously really hoping it's going to come in
Yeah.
terms of their messages.
Right.
You can post to social posts and you're posting on your personal pages now, and you can hook up LinkedIn lead ads and all that sort of stuff now and bring all those leads in. I think they're working on it. LinkedIn's just a bit tricky to work with. They're very guarded around
Yeah.
what they will let you connect up to, and obviously they're trying to prevent people going in there and doing the wrong thing. And Jane and I have had conversations about this as well, about there's scrapers that do these things, but it's not really best practice in the long run to do these things. So I know that a lot of people are asking on the communities page inside of High Level, are really wanting that one particularly, or some kind of integration with Sales Navigator and stuff like that. So I guess it's a wait and see if it's possible, whether it may or may not ever happen. But you've got WhatsApp's just come on too. So you've got, if you're using WhatsApp, you can hook up your WhatsApp and use that. I don't even know what WhatsApp is, to be perfectly honest. I don't use it. So
Yeah,
don't ask me what WhatsApp is.
but a lot of us use it, Paul, because
Yeah,
we're
it's becoming popular.
And
Yeah.
sometimes because we have VAs offshore, it's a good way to communicate with them. So that's good to know that it's got WhatsApp as well. And Sarah's also said LinkedIn are notorious when trying to integrate with HR systems. So Sarah's a HR systems expert. But go ahead. Opportunity pipelines.
Yeah, opportunity pipeline. Obviously, this is people in AC would know this as your deals pipeline and stuff like that. It's very, very similar in terms of that, where you can create pipelines for your business. I guess it's really managing the life cycle of your leads and your customers and that kind of thing. And it's something I really feel like everyone should use because it really does give you that sort of snapshot of what bucket your leads are in and what's happening with them. And it sort of gives you I've always said to people, what it does do is it gives you a good snapshot of where maybe your sales process is breaking down, because you might have a lot of leads coming in, but if they're not booking, something's wrong there. Or, if you have a thing where maybe you have a stage where it adds someone they've clicked to book stage and they didn't book, well, okay, maybe there's a problem there. So you can grow. I mean, that's just an example pipeline there. I mean, you can make this thing long. You can add as many stages as you want to it and really make it more granular. I mean, it really helps. You can trigger things off the back of it too. So when you move, if you have like a proposals or send a proposal stage, you might have, or send a booking link stage. When someone's interested, you can drag someone over to it. It will fire off a booking link to them and say, hey, look, here's where you can book your appointment, or here's your invoice, or here's your proposal if you're using the invoices and proposals in the system. So it sort of allows you to do all those things by using it. And obviously at the moment too, they've changed all the dashboard. So you can actually customize your dashboard with, widgets and different things. And there's a whole bunch of different scenarios that you can do where you might say, I want to see all my abandoned opportunities. And you can add that widget to your dashboard and see all those things. So they've added more and more, I guess, scenarios to your dashboard. So you can custom create your dashboard now. So instead of sort of getting the standard one that everyone was getting, you can change that all up now and for your reporting purposes and say, well, actually, I want to see, everyone that's in this stage, or I want to see who owns these people, or how many tasks are outstanding and stuff like that. You can customize it, and I think they're going to keep adding more and more options to it as more and more sort of scenarios come along. So, and a lot of the dashboard reporting sort of centers around the pipeline. So whatever you've sort of got set up your pipelines, it sort of gears a lot of what your dashboard will look like, which I'll show you shortly. I'll show you what dashboard looks like. Typical dashboard. All right. So as I said before, create and send proposals and invoices. You may or may not ever want to do that. I mean, it's handy. I do all mine through it. I've got Xero, so some things go through there. But if I want to send out something to somebody, I do it through here.
And it connects to your Xero, Paul?
Connect via Stripe.
Stripe.
It does. So that when they pay it via Stripe,
Yeah.
It just goes straight into Xero. There is talk. There is a direct connection with QuickBooks.
Okay.
And maybe I think there's MyOb as well. And I think there's talk about Xero. Xero is another one, like LinkedIn.
Very fussy.
Very fussy about who's going to plug themselves into their platform and stuff. So Xero would be a big win because so many people use Xero, including myself.
Yeah.
That you can send all those things, and obviously around the proposals, you can also it's also signature captured as well, so they can sign it.
Oh,
There's going to be workflows around if someone opens it and maybe hasn't, because that works well in your pipeline, where you might want to see you've sent the proposal, but you might want to see a stage of people who have opened the proposal who have maybe not signed it. So, obviously if you're looking for sales and chasing people up, well, those that have opened a proposal are more likely to go ahead than those that aren't even looking at it. So, those functions will be there very, very soon around the proposals if you use them. You can brand them all up as well and send them automatically, or you can create them manually and send them. It's all there to do. And obviously, the new thing I was talking about before was the selling of products and services. So you've always been able to sort of do that via the sales funnels as sort of like a one product thing where you add a product and you can, like a membership or whatever. But now you can actually add books and different products where people can add to cart and add multiple things they might want to purchase and check out as you would normally check out. And then, as I said, you'll get within the payment section, you'll see like all your orders that have come through. And when you click it on, you can fulfill it like you would with Shopify when you can fulfill an order. And it will send, a notification to that person that their order's been fulfilled. In here, what it does let you do is chuck in, things like tracking numbers and carriers and stuff like that. Because this is very new, this has got a lot of room for what's going to come next. So inventory management is coming very soon, where you can actually put in stock quantities, because that was the first thing people went was, what if I've only got 10? You can do all that sort of thing, as well as obviously being able to bolt in the actual carriers. So obviously, because this is a worldwide platform, that could take a little bit to come in, where you can just pick Aussie Post from like a pick list and stuff like that. For now, you can just do it manually. But yeah, the e-com thing is going to grow pretty fast, pretty quickly in terms of what people are going to want to do with it. And also, too, it's overseas now, and it's coming very soon over here. Tap to pay. So if you're using card readers, if you go to a webinar, an event that you're having, and you want to sell some merchandise and books or whatever, fireman calendars or whatever you want to sell, you can use the app. You can get an app for this, which is very, very good. Great. The app is great. The app is compared to Active Campaigns, which is a pile of garbage. They put no real effort into ever building it out and making it great. The app that accompanies this thing is terrific. And what you're going to be able to do is if you're at a seminar and you're selling some books, instead of having a card reader or taking cash or whatever, you can open the app up and you hit the receive payment, and it will open like a card reader. So people can tap their phones, their cards against it, connects to Stripe. And what it does let you do that card readers don't let you do is that you can capture, if that contact's already in your database, you can find them, and obviously it will send them an invoice or a receipt. Okay. If they're not, it lets you put them in. So at the point of sale, you're also capturing that person as, as a newsletter person, as a future, lead of some kind. At that sale, they bought your book, but you might want their details. Now you can do that by the card. The tap to pay system will let you do that. So it's live in the US, and it's coming live very, very soon. I think when Square comes, I think you'll probably see the tap to pay function will come too. So no more card. Yep. So fantastic. No more card readers.
That'd be great. I hate Square.
Yep. So yeah, that's right. Or having to pay to have their card readers and stuff like that. It's you just do it through your phone. Marketing management. Obviously, create and send newsletters and EDMs. I mean, that's, something that you all pretty much do.
Yeah.
This has a drag and drop editor as well, very similar to all the other builders that you see out there as well. Very easy to use. It's just had an overhaul recently, so it's brand new what they've done to it. Save sections, so you can save sections, columns, bits that you can save to reuse for reusing purposes. Handy split test up to 6 variations as well. And it's also got like hundreds of free templates that you can use if you're needing some inspiration. You can go in there and say, well, I want something a bit fancier than what I normally build, and you can just use a free template and just reskin it with your own branding and stuff like that. Really simple to use, obviously. Social media scheduling and posting this, so if you're using Hootsuite or Buffer or any of those things, you can connect up your LinkedIn, personal and business, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google Business, and all those, and basically post to socials. With Instagram, you can post to Reels now and do all those wacky-do things. I think there's more options coming with LinkedIn as well about being able to post to events or something. I've seen people asking about.
Right.
So yeah, you can create and schedule posts. They look exactly as how they would if you went and did it yourself. So it doesn't have, posted via whatever platform down the bottom. It looks completely unbranded, completely as you would see it. If you have people doing it for you, they can send approval to you so you can approve it first before they post it. Or if you have an agency doing it for you and they still use the old CSV files with all the assets in it and the stuff like that, they can upload those and bulk sort of schedule and that kind of thing. So and Canva integrations coming for it very soon as well.
Okay.
What
Great.
that entails, I don't know. I think you can now edit images in there as well. So I don't know whether the Canva will obviously let you bring in images directly from Canva is what I'm guessing it's probably going to mean.
Okay.
So instead of having to do this and do that, I think you can import them in from Canva. I believe that's what the talk is at the moment. Any questions with any of those things I just went through?
Paul, I think we've got 5 minutes left.
Yep.
So I think the question that most people will probably be starting to have is, what's the sort of price difference are we talking about that something
Absolutely.
like that this is versus,
Yep.
So do you have any information on that?
I'll speed up. Marketing automation, for those of AC familiar, you'll know this is as good, if not better, than what AC can do. And AC's automation is fantastic. So many different things that you can do, dozens and dozens of things that you can do in the builder. Learning platform, we spoke about this. You can create memberships and courses and all that, very Kajabi-like. You can upsell within it as well to other things, one-click upsells and all that sort of stuff. You can have a white label app, which works off like the progressive web app system, where it's not an app, it's not a web page, it's kind of in between. So you can customize it and brand it, and people can save it to their phones and log in via that instead of via having to go via like a URL and all that kind of thing. Community groups and client portals. So basically you can create community groups, and you can give your clients who maybe have courses and stuff like that, they can have their own portal, which shows them what courses they're in, what groups they're in, and stuff like that. So, and that also works internally as well. You can use that for internal, company purposes and whatnot as well. Why automate CRM versus standard high level? So the big thing behind high level is it is designed to be white labeled and sold on. Basically, as I mentioned before, I have a help center with my version, whereas standard high level does not. Local support from an actual expert, not someone who's trying to be an entrepreneur and only cares about selling the platform. Full API access, so I have access to, dozens and dozens of tools which can help you hook up Asana and those things. And obviously special pricing, I keep my costs down. So basically for Jane's clients, I run 2 price points these days. So there's an $80 plus GST, which has everything bar the memberships and communities and the website, sales funnels, blogs, which you may do somewhere else anyway, proposals as an estimates, and also there's an affiliate manager in here too. So if you do affiliate marketing, you can set up affiliates in here and have them sell your stuff on your behalf, and manages all that stuff as well. So, and for $140 plus GST a month, you get everything. Extra costs here. Sorry, extra costs. SMS and WhatsApp cost extra to have, obviously. AI and premium things, you know, they cost extra to have, but they're only like barely a couple of cents to use per go and all that sort of stuff. They're super cheap to use. So, but you don't have to use them if you don't want to.
So can I just clarify, Paul, quick comment of one of the things I've been saying to people, because I've noticed it. So in other words, just for everyone's benefit and for the recording, GoHighLevel itself, or HighLevel as it seems to be called, I know it is GHL, but anyway, it's a white labeled product. So you will see GoHighLevel being marketed by other marketers. So they're taking GoHighLevel and they rename it into the brand that they want to call it. So Paul's called it Automate CRM, or Paul's business is called Automate Digital. It's called Automate CRM. So the thing is if you go to the GoHighLevel website and you sign up, is that their normal rate monthly, I think, is about $300 a month or something.
If you can get the entry level version, which doesn't have everything, it's $97 US a month,
Right.
which is about $150 a month. So I've always said, you know, with your guys, I'm more than happy to do that price, but they get everything plus all the extra stuff, plus my help and all that as well. So that's how I guess I differentiate myself from standard HighLevel. If you go to HighLevel themselves, you just got to deal with people in Dallas, and when you're on the low plan, you can wait days to get any sort of support. So, you know,
sign up directly with GoHighLevel, so you're their customer through them. So if you're thinking about it, come through Paul. Even if you want to do your 14-day trial, just come back through Paul, because it means that you'll be able to get this pricing instead of, that's what I've asked Paul to do, is there something you can help with our ladies because the main thing is, I think we don't want to be an expert in GoHighLevel, but we want to be able to get on a call to you if we need help. But we have access to the features and things that we know we need, but we can upgrade if we want to. But you know, it's really valuable.
And just with that too, is if you just want, you're on the lower one, which is why I got the price points now, because not everyone wants all the features. And if you're particularly not doing memberships or communities or any of those things, and you don't need the website builder and stuff like that, then I've sort of made it, you know, more affordable. And for that price, this also is no limits on your users and no limits on your contacts. Unlimited users, unlimited contacts. So, you know, the only extra charges if you start using the SMS or WhatsApp or the AI and stuff like that, which is dirt cheap anyway, that you sort of know what your price is going to be. And if you go and, you know, sign up 10,000 people at a webinar, you know, you're not going to get punished by having them in your database.
That's a killer.
By growing your list.
Yeah, which is what Kajabi and Active Campaign especially, and particularly Kajabi, what I like is about unlimited courses, because on Kajabi, it's $150 a month for 3 courses. Once you hit over 3 courses, because I've got 25 courses, so, you know, they're a killer. But once you start getting over, and when we're building a body of work, and, you know, we've written books, we've got online courses to build, you know, all those things really add up. It's a killer. Alison's just double checking here. So just to clarify, with sales funnels, so if it's got this, so the $80 a month has the CRM in it, but if you want the sales funnels, it's the higher level price. What
we mean by sales funnels is like the click funnelsy sort of stuff. Not pipelines. You got your pipelines in your CRM. It's a bit confusing because some people call them funnels and some people call them pipelines. What I mean by the funnels themselves is the ClickFunnels style thing where you build a sales page and a checkout page. And anyone that knows ClickFunnels or cart flows or any of those things would be familiar with that. So
we don't
websites and funnels. No. If you do it somewhere else, then Samantha Rush, actually, she was on the 80 and she needed to build landing pages because she's like, well, I'm having devs are a pain in the butt, blah, 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 blah. I just want to build some simple pages. And she just pays a bit extra a month, and she just gets the websites component to it now too. So you can, I'm happy to make it modular as well. So you might say, well, actually, I'd love the blogs or I'd love the membership and communities, but I don't want all the other stuff. I'm happy to say, okay, for an extra, $15 a month, you can have that. As I said, I'm trying to make this affordable where people can use this long term and, through the peaks and troughs of your business, that when things are tight, you can still afford to own this platform and it still does what you need it to do.
So good, Paul. We're just so happy. This is just a game changer for the costs that are involved in, all these different platforms.
Answer to Sarah or Sarah, no, her website is still built on her website, but she was using landing pages, the website builder, to create, I think, some landing pages she wanted to build of some kind, if that makes sense. You can integrate it with WordPress. So you can build it all into WordPress and stuff like that if you want to.
Okay. Paul, if people want to get in touch with you, what do you want them to do?
What's the best way? Probably just shoot me an email. Probably best way to do it is through the business, just hello@automatedigitalmarketing.com.au. I might quickly, should I throw that in there, or can people copy that?
Go to Paul's website. So it's automatedigitalmarketing.com.au.
Yeah,
there we go. Paul's there. He's on LinkedIn as well. So Paul Taylor is on LinkedIn, but automatedigitalmarketing.com.au if you need help. Paul, you've been amazing with our community. We're really grateful for your help. You're really responsive. You get what we do. This is, I think you've been able to pull something together, and you haven't had to build it from scratch, but you've been able to really customize it and make it, and help us to be able to do something like this. So we're really grateful, and thanks so much for jumping on today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I hope that's been helpful today. And a few comments saying, yep, thanks, Paul. Super helpful. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for
everyone.
jumping on today. All right. Bye.
Have a nice rest of your day.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye for now.